It all started with an increase in the central bank rates to 400 basis points to a record 11%, and on Thursday this week, the limit of foreign exchange held by banks saw a reduction by half to 10%. These moves, according to deliberations from the National Civil Society Congress Forum, are still insufficient to safeguard the country's economy against the vulnerability to the external shocks.
But in the Constitution, it says economic policy must be measured and assessed by its potential impact in the delivery of socio-economic rights.
The situation is far much beyond averting with just the knee-jerk measures, as fundamental factors that underpins the situation is what Kenya should be talking about.
Making sure that the central bank is balancing inflation with people getting jobs so that the banks are able to lend not only for speculative housing construction, but that people are constructing houses, creating small businesses and employing people.
Thanks to the new charter, a clear line is now envisaged as the country transits into a new dispensation.
If you want to save the public, you have only an income. It's a bit like being a nun. Or, you've chosen to be a nun, you'd be a nun. So you chose to go to the public sector and to go into politics. You should live frugally in accordance with what the economy can provide your average citizens. That is a big promise of the Constitution that I am trying to export to my own country.
The deteriorating shilling has played a major contribution to the high cost of living, and according to Charles Abuger, Regional Director, UN Millennium Campaign, if only Kenya set its priorities right.
Much of the inflationary pressures in this country is food related. It's either food or it's fuel. There's a big debate around the fuel. But Kenya has the capability to increase its food, the share of its food needs from domestic consumption. But you prioritize flowers or everything else but small-scale food. I mean, that's Kenyan policy. As an MDGs campaigner, I would say grow food, even if it is slightly relatively expensive. And devaluation allows for those who grow food in the internal market to grow food.
Certainly, the weak shilling could be a blessing in disguise in Kenya's export business.
So if you want to drive an export economy to reduce the other fundamental problem, which is that Kenya has had balance of payment current account deficit, meaning you do not earn enough from your exports to meet your imports, then that's something you might have to do. There is another thing. So it might be useful to encourage exports.
Money laundering also came out strongly as key holdback that has perennially had negative effect to the country's economy. Kenyans are therefore called upon to rise to the occasion in agitating for the leaks to be blocked. Jojo Kachi, GBS News.